you up to onto the screen. All right. And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast where we help you get started on your fitness journey. How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all off to a great week so far, or coming up on a good week. We have another interview for the podcast today, and we have Miss Daffney Allwein. She is joining the podcast. She is a certified coach and let me make sure I'm saying this, exercise. Hold on. I just had it. Exercise, not physical therapist. That's not right.
Physiologist? Yeah, that's good.
Physiologist. That's the word I'm
That'll
looking
work. Yeah.
for. That's the word I'm looking for. All right. So yeah, just a little bit of. Well, first of all, I'll say thank you for joining the podcast. I appreciate you joining.
Happy to
Just a
be
little
here.
bit, just a little bit about the podcast. It's very. I like to keep things on a basic level. Just trying to get people started on the fitness journey, trying to help people, stay motivated, learn, kind of the basics of things. And then typically when I have people on, like professionals like yourself, we'll dive deeper into other topics in their field. So that's why I like having people join the podcast. So that's a little bit about us. So let's go ahead and, if you would, tell the listeners just a little glimpse about you and what you do.
Yeah. So I am a 20-year veteran of the health and wellness industry. So I'm just outside of DC. I've been in DC for a lot of years and recently went through the ICF for professional executive coaching. So that's a graduate certificate. And the reason I decided to go that direction about 5, 6 years ago now is I found in all of the years I did personal training, doing the physical therapy side, is we were always missing that component of mindset and nervous system and all those really important things. And because my clientele is executives and a lot of attorneys, a lot of like very high pressure type A professionals, it really made a sense that in order for those regimes and those habits and those mindsets to change, we had to really take a multi-pronged approach.
Awesome, I like that. So what are you doing now? Are you still doing personal training? You said you work for a lot of high professionals and things like that. Is that what you do all
Yeah.
full time?
Yeah, actually, 13 years ago, I started my own company, and I now partner with a physical therapist who does a lot of the programming for the clients I use, and it's a lot of fun. We have a great time. DC's a really, it's not a city, it's a really big town, but it is a really cool subset of professionals and I guess celebrities in our way, a lot of politicians
Hmm.
in that regard. So we enjoy what we're doing, but DC is also a very fit town. A lot of triathlons, a lot of marathons. So I'm a runner. I'm a marathoner. I just finished baby number 2, so I'm just getting back into marathoning now. And running Boston, doing Pikes Peak, doing these really extreme runs and marathons. And this is the population that we work with. A lot of our executives and type A folks are also weekend warriors. They are triathletes. They are marathoners. So we are just keeping up with them.
Awesome. That's right up my alley. I actually just did a Olympic triathlon last weekend. So,
Oh, kudos.
and
Yeah,
I picked up running in the past probably a year or so. Um, Back in April, I did a 100-mile ultra marathon. So
excellent.
I'm
Yeah.
uh I'm completely hooked now. My
I was gonna say,
background is
I was like, you can't give up once you finish. Yeah.
yeah, my background is more weightlifting, like weight training. Played sports growing up, but then recently I kind of got into the whole endurance side of things, so running, triathlons, things like that. So I'm right there with you. I know exactly what you're doing. So are you in person or you do online training?
Since COVID, we've been doing everything virtually. So
Hmm.
everything is virtual meetups. It tends to be because we have a high number of folks who travel quite a bit for their extensive work that it actually
Hmm.
allows us to be a little more present with them. So no matter if they're abroad or they're away from home or away from the office, we can meet them anywhere, which is a better set for us.
Yeah, the online definitely works more. It's better for most people, and I think that's kind of the way things are going. So I actually tried. I did a little bit of online training a few years ago myself, but I don't know. I don't know if personal training is necessarily for me. I like it, but I like doing more of the content.
Doing personal training or being trained.
No, like training other people.
train other people.
Yeah.
It's tough if you and I have to say this in this capacity, like it's not for everybody because it's a
Mm-hmm.
completely different set of eyes. It's a completely different patience.
Mm-hmm.
It's even the way you listen. It's even the way that you engage with people because you can't just reach over and physically modify their stance. You can't just reach across and make those modifications. You have to use your voice, and it's a lot of verbal cueing.
Yeah, it definitely takes a certain skill set to be able to kind of coach people virtually or to coach them in person. Honestly, I'm. It bothers me when people don't operate the same way I do. I'm like, this is how you do it. Just do it. And some people don't get that, but I don't know. It is what it is. So
Yeah.
let's get into some fitness questions for you. So one of the biggest mistakes you see when people are starting a new fitness journey or a new routine, they try to kind of overhaul everything at once. So why is this such a common problem or pitfall for a lot of beginners?
No, this might be the neurodivergent thing you were talking about. Like, I think differently, I do differently. Now, I mean that in the case that everybody wants to flip a switch. Everybody wants it to start on Monday. Everybody wants it to be done perfectly. And it's very interesting how a lot of times we think we can't start at mid-month. We can't start, in the middle of the year. We have to have these certain benchmarks. And I think that comes from the idea that we think that it's supposed to be a switch. And starting fitness is no different than practicing anything else. So even if you're getting it right 10% of the time, if you're starting with your sleep, if you're starting with hydration, you're starting with twice a week, that's a big gain. It's the consistency, as you know, as if you're a weightlifter. It's consistency over time. It's not about being perfect every day.
Yeah, I always like to say you just need to do more than what you did yesterday.
That's right.
You don't
Yeah.
need to do like most people when they first start. Like you said, flipping that switch. People are going to start going to the gym 5 days a week and working out. I'm like, no, don't do this. Yeah, it's in hindsight, it's a good idea, but you're probably not going to work out 5 days a week when you've never been doing that. If you haven't
No.
been going to the gym 5 days a week, that's not going to happen for very long. Let's just
In
be honest. So I
in
always
20
say,
in 20 years of doing this,
yeah,
I've never seen someone flip a switch effectively.
yes, literally
No.
just
Yeah.
if you're going 0 days a week, go 1 day a week or two at the most, and then do that for a while, and then you can go from there and then build on that. People try to do, like you said, they do too much at one time. They try to do too much, and I get that. Like as humans, that's kind of how we operate. I get that,
Yeah.
but for fitness, it don't really work very well because you just get burnt out too fast, and it's not gonna
Yeah.
last.
Well, even think about the psychology of it, right? Like you're a bodybuilder, right? If you're in there and you do a really intense workout 1 day, 2 days, 3 days in a row, what's the likelihood based on the way you feel? Because we're human beings and we're adverse to pain, right? And you may call it discomfort, some people might call it pain, but after 3 days of working out, how does your body feel? Like you're not getting that positive feedback to keep going on day four.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are some things that you do with your clients to kind of counteract, this all in or all out kind of mindset?
Mixing it up. I mean, that's the other thing is there is this trend, right, for high intensity training where we want to go hard, we want to go, and I won't name any brands or I won't name any names, but I mean the idea that you're doing high intensity training 3, 4, 5 days a week is not even actually productive in your workout. So if you can find a diverse and even more, a more broad spectrum of things you enjoy doing. And maybe that means you're a country line dancer. I don't know. But that's exercise. That's different. That's keeping your body moving. So if you enjoy dancing, make that one of your workouts. If you enjoy yoga, do the yoga. Like there's no reason to be lifting every single day. And as a marathoner, as somebody who runs distance and has done, really well, one of the things that surprises people the most is I don't run every day. In fact, I run 4 days a week at most. And that's even when I'm marathon training because I'm smart enough to know after 43 years, right, that breaking down those fibers is never going to put me in a better set the next day.
Yeah, you definitely have to find out what works for you. And some people can recover faster than others, but nobody can work out every day, like you said.
It's not productive. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, and I found like now that I'm doing both, I'm kind of weightlifting and weight training. I mean, and running. I work out a lot less now than I did because I don't want to overdo it. I'm not trying to overtrain. So I tone my workouts way back, and then depending on what I'm training for at the time, like my runs, I'm only running 3 days a week now at this point. So, but I'm not really like in a training block. So that's why I've toned it a lot back.
What's the big goal if you're running? Sorry, I'm interviewing you. Sorry. Like
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
if you no, but if you're running 3 days a week, what's the objective? Like, are you training for something specific?
At the moment, no. I'm just running because I enjoy it and I want to stay in shape. But I
Good.
have some things in the pipeline. I have some things
Okay.
that I want
All
to
right. Well,
train
if you
for.
say them out loud, you have to do them. So
Yeah, I have some races. I have like a bucket list of things I want to do. So I want to do one big thing every year. That's my goal. And I have some things I want to do next year, but I haven't. They're all lottery based, so like I don't know if I'm gonna get in. So I have another ultra that I want to do, and I kind of want to do a high rocks next year, just to do
nice.
something different. So I have some ideas that I hadn't that haven't committed to any just yet.
Very good.
So for beginners that are starting, to go to the gym, a lot of people they kind of feel intimidated when it comes to the gym, especially beginners. This is my wife for the longest time. She would not go to the gym because she felt intimidated, and I never got it. I don't get it why. But what's some advice you have for someone that kind of has a little anxiety when they go to the gym, or they kind of fear the gym a little bit because they don't necessarily know what they're doing, or if they're new, or they just don't feel comfortable going in there.
Yeah. The best way to do is get yourself a tour guide. So I'm making that joke because I'm in New York City today. I'm out, working, and the only real way to enjoy a city or to learn a city or learn any new environment, so I'm using that as an analogy, obviously, is to find a tour guide. And in which case, I mean, a personal trainer or your favorite fitness instructor would be the right place to start. So maybe taking, two, three, four personal training sessions, and for nothing else but to make you familiar with the landscape. Because what I find, and you've seen every YouTube video out there, I'm sure, where people are using equipment improperly, right? And sometimes it's borderline comical when you see how they're using it, but it all comes down to no one ever showed them. They were afraid to ask anyone else, and they really basically learned based on watching someone else try to action. So my number one advice would be find your tour guide. If you're in a new landscape, you're in a new gym, if you're in a new class, whatever the case may be, reach out to somebody, find somebody to connect with. And the great thing is, I'm sure you would agree with this, the gym is actually a pretty friendly place if you're talking to people. People are walking around with their headphones on, but anybody who knows what they're doing, you see anybody who looks like a bag of muscles in a shirt, they're probably the nicest person in the gym because they're there day in and day out and they are happy to share information with you because that's their life and they want you to be part of their community.
Yeah, it's actually funny you brought that up because I was going to say that. Yeah, like most of the time, the big meat, I call them meatheads, big
I know,
meathead guys
yeah,
in the gym,
yeah,
like they want you to ask them a question
yes,
because it's like an ego boost for them. Like
that's right.
if you ask them a question, they think, oh yeah, they think I know what I'm doing. So that's like a good thing for them, and they would be glad to help you out. I know they may look intimidating, they may look kind of scary,
That's
but like
right.
you said, they're probably pretty nice, and they would love to help you out. Like I would love to help people out if they have a question in the gym. Um, so I always like tell people, hey, come ask me a question. I will try to help you the best I can. I will try to lead you in the right direction. But yeah, I know it could be kind of intimidating, especially the big jacked swole dudes that are in there, grunting and stuff. You're probably a little intimidated, but they would love to ask you. Same for the women.
It's true.
The women you can tell been in the gym for years working out. Like they would love to help you out. Try ask them a question. I mean, yeah, you may find one that's rude every now and then, but for the
Here's
most part,
the other side of that too is you don't have to do their routine. And I'd recommend that you don't if you're brand new, but at least they know how the machines work, right? And they can tell you what the machines are for. So
mm,
that's the easiest entry level. I think it's the opposite. No, that is like a prison idea, right? Like find the biggest person in the prison. I'm just kidding. And you find the biggest person in that gym, or you find a trainer, or you find somebody who really wants you to feel comfortable there. So
yeah, and I like your advice of hiring a trainer for a few sessions when you first start. That's a good idea for if you're brand new, like if you're straight beginner. That's a good place to start, especially if you don't even know how the machines and stuff work. And then programming, that's like a whole nother step. So I wouldn't even worry about that just yet. But yeah, just getting into like knowing how the machines work and what the weights are, things like that, how to use them. That's a great thing to do if you're a beginner. I know it's a upfront investment, and a lot of beginners are kind of intimidated by that. Investing upfront in it, but in the long term, it would pay off. Like it would be worth hiring somebody to kind of teach you those things from the get go, than trying to learn it on your own. 'Cause you're gonna cost yourself a lot of time trying to learn how to do all that on your own. So I highly recommend get somebody to help, or it could be a friend. Like you probably know
Mhm.
somebody in your life that's pretty serious about working out or dieting, fitness, things like that. Ask them. Try to ask if you can tag along to the gym with them one day and just see kind of how they do things. Ask questions, things like that. That's a good
You,
piece
you
of advice.
probably know this as much as I do, but most gym injuries for people just starting out happen in the first 30 days. So what happens often, they start going, they go pretty often, they have a setback or they have an injury, and maybe it's discomfort. Maybe they don't know if it's an injury or not. They just feel off or they feel tight maybe, right? They just don't have a good stretching routine. And what happens is most people quit within the first 30 days because they start feeling that discomfort and assume that that's an injury or that sort of thing. So it's like you said, just foolproof your start by asking that personal trainer for help and looking for somebody who already has that expertise. I agree.
So what's some of your clientele? You say you work with a lot of professionals. Are you mainly women or men or both?
Down the middle, 50-50. And it's funny that they sort of have the same personalities. Like that's probably like the one defining characteristic is everybody's really serious. And this might be a DC thing in general, but they're very shrewd people. It's a very shrewd community. So they're really good at seeing past, what's not true and what's not accurate or what might be sort of hype or, a little bit of salesmanship. So I've noticed that anybody ever worked with, and just DC in general, like they can see if you're not sure about what you're saying, or if they see somebody who's new to personal training. So I always think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so for me, I'm working with male, female, and I enjoy both because it's incredible. It's incredible, and I think maybe the biggest definition of this is I'm actually working with a lot of people in their prime working. So, as in like their 40s, 50s, 60s. So, I actually don't see as many 20-year-olds where I'm at. And so, these are very serious people they have a goal in mind, they have a lifestyle they want to keep going. So, that's my favorite part. They're very, very serious people.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier when people actually are committed to it. It's hard to get somebody to do something that they don't necessarily want to do. He, it always blows my mind when people like will pay money for something and then still not do it. Like that's hard for me to understand. But the reason I ask you about the male and female is because I wanted to ask you some more like female specific questions because I don't
Sure.
get to talk about fitness like female stuff as much because I don't have I obviously don't have the expertise, but so most time we're talking, from a male's point of view. So I wanted to
Yeah.
ask some questions from a female because I do have a few female listeners. I mean, it's probably mainly men that listen, but I'm mainly asking for my wife because she just started. She's just now getting into fitness, and she don't. I try to help her out, but then she she don't want to listen because it's me, because I'm because I'm her husband. I'm like, you got to do this, and she's like, well, it don't work that way because I'm a go getter. Like whatever I say I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go do it, and I'm gonna train hard, and I'm gonna give it my all. And she just don't operate like we don't operate the same. So she's like, well, I can't do that. I can't go run 10 miles at one time. And obviously I'm not telling her to do that, but she
Yeah.
she likes to follow her female influencers on TikTok and stuff. So she been getting into it. She's been doing good. She's been doing very good. She's getting into working out. We got a little home gym set up, so she likes to work out in there. It gets the job done. Nothing fancy or anything, but I try to help her out, but I just don't know what to tell her because I'm like it's believe it, it's a lot different between male and female. There's different when it comes down to the core of things, it's the same. But once you get in the nitty gritty, there's a lot of difference there, especially when it comes to hormones and things like that. So I can't really give her much advice because I just don't know what to tell her.
Yeah.
She's like, you just don't understand. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I don't. You're right, but
Yeah.
um, I'm just trying to keep it, trying to help her out as far as I'm trying to figure out what way to put it. I don't know. Like I don't know. I just can't help her.
Don't
I don't know
don't
what to
don't
tell her.
sugarcoat it. Put it out there,
Yeah,
Murphy. Go ahead.
like I can't help her. She just we're totally different. Like I've been doing this for like 12 years now consistently, and she's just now getting into it, and there's just a disconnect there. But yeah, I'm trying to think I'm trying to think how I could help her that would be different from male or female.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. I've been married for almost 18 years now, and every time my husband asks me for even a smidgen of advice, I celebrate, right? He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you with that." So I totally understand the dynamic of marriage because yeah, it's not an arena you want to step into. So um, from a female perspective, when it comes to fitness, what we kind of miss a lot of times is the male hormone cycle is 24 hours, right? Female is, if you've been listening in health class back in high school, is 28 days, right? And that's 28 days on average. So, for her, it might be 24, it could be 32. But why it's beneficial for you to know that information is her energy and her capacity for different types of exercise is going to look completely different based on hormone, right? Based on
Mm,
her level of estrogen, progesterone, like wherever she is in the cycle, we need to be doing more rest at certain weeks and we need to be focusing on different types of exercise throughout. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I was going for. Like that,
Yes.
it helps a
Okay.
lot because I
Yes.
yeah, like I said, I can't really help her because I've never experienced myself, so I don't know how to. Like sometimes she asks me these things, I'm like, I really don't know. Like I can't help you out because
There,
we're not the
there are
same.
actually there are actually weeks of exercise. This is like just me 101 is that my exercise is yoga that week. And, I may go for a light run. I might, and I'm sure you can guess what week that is, right? Like
Mm,
it's one of those things where I have to listen to my body and not because I'm taking a break or I'm not pushing hard enough. I'm taking a different approach each week because I'm not actually getting gains by doing exercise that's outside of what's appropriate for me that week. So there are weeks that I could probably outlift you. I'm just kidding. But like there are weeks that I have higher levels, right, of different androgens and things in my blood that could probably rival most of the guys in the gym that I'm in, right? Or that I mostly work out from home. So I just really intimidate my husband, right? But the truth is, those rest weeks, those weeks that we're doing yoga and we're doing runs, and we're not doing intensity runs, we're not doing speed work, right? Are just as vital because we're taking as much ground or getting as much gain by taking those weeks differently. So I, I guess you could set it up. I guess that might be a really interesting diagram to actually share with everybody if you get a chance, you and I can put it together. Where based on where you are in the luteal schedule is exactly the type of exercise you should be targeting. And I think a lot of times for women, what we're noticing is we're working out really hard. Some of those further weeks, pop into our month. And then we realize that we're like, we don't have the energy. We're more hungry. We're looking for magnesium, aka chocolate, right? To just sort of keep us going through it. And if we don't listen to our body, it really screws us up for the rest of the cycle.
yeah, that's one thing that me and my wife do. That it's got both benefits, but we go for walks now, which I think is great because
Awesome.
I used to be anti-walk. I was like, because she used to do that, and she'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm like, that's not gonna help you. Like, you gotta go for a run. You need to do a workout. You need to do
How are
something.
you still married? I'm just joking. Like, so,
Well,
so, yeah.
that was old me. I've
Okay,
learned a
good.
lot since then, and I'm now like pro walk. Like I think walking is great. Not just for women, but for everybody. I think walking is like the probably the number one workout everybody could do because it's so accessible. Most people can do it. It's easy. It's not straining on the body, and not only are you exercising, but it's a great like family time. So we love to we have a dog, so we
Yeah.
take him on a walk,
Me too.
and it's our little time together, and we're getting exercise at the same time while we're spending time together. So
Yeah.
we love it. But this is great for her because it's like you said, sometimes you don't have the energy to do a workout, and she will literally be like, I can't work out today." She'll just tell me that. I'm like, "Okay, we'll just go for a walk later. Like it'll be all good." So she has a heart, but she gets down on herself. She's like, "Well, I was supposed to work out today and I didn't." I'm like,
And you did. You
"Yeah,
did.
it's
Did
okay."
you did you know that 20 minutes can actually improve your cognitive abilities? So even at the very least, you're exercising your brain and creating more clarity in your day by doing 20 minutes of walking. And we're not talking like you're not hitting zone three. You're barely hitting zone two, right?
Mhm.
But 20 minutes actually improves your cognitive function. So why would you not do that anyway?
Yeah, I love walking. I actually do it all the time myself. Like I'm a big achiever, so I'm going for the 10K steps every day. Like
Okay,
that's my
good,
goal.
good,
But
good.
yeah, I'm a big opponent of walking. I tell people to do this all the time. Like just start there. If you're gonna do anything, start there
Yeah.
before you try to go all in and start running or working out 5 days a week. I think walking's great.
Sometimes we trip over our own ego, and that's where we fall short most of the time. Is we what we used to be able to do, what we should be doing, what other people are doing. Tripping over those things is actually the thing that bottoms most people out.
So if you had to pick between cardio and strength training for a beginner, which one was you choose, or is there a way to balance both of them?
Would you choose between breathing air or eating food?
Breathe in air.
Okay, well then there you go. You see what I'm saying? Like the point is, like, you need both to live,
Yeah.
right? And I always say that lifting is for tomorrow, the cardio is for today, right? So strength training is for tomorrow, cardio is for today. So cardio is important to keep everything online, all of your systems, right, functioning properly. Like we've talked about, your brain, right, just your circulatory system, right, your organs, that sort of thing. So the cardio is important. But if you want to improve your metabolic situation, if you want to live long enough and not have bone density issues and to be functional, you have to do both. There is no choosing. Now, I'm not saying you need to be deadlifting, a skyscraper or anything like that, but you should be able to hit certain benchmarks based on your current body weight, because the truth is you're already carrying that much weight around, right? It's not that much of a push.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in weightlifting or weight training specifically. I think everybody should be doing it, no matter what age or what you got going on. I think it's beneficial for the long term.
Did you know, this is probably a statistic that you love, some, no, I'm just joking, that after the age of, I think, 62 or 65 for most women, that they're very likely to have a fall, and it is almost impossible for them to recover after that fall if they haven't been strength training, because that's where that bone density comes into. That's where a lot of things start to fail. So if you are over 50, male, female, whatever you identify as, strength training is not something that should be taken lightly, or even skipped. So you may be able to get away with it in your 20s or your 30s, right? You look in a bathing suit, look at in whatever, right? But when you're 50, it's not even a question anymore. You need to be lifting. You need to be doing some sort of strength training.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most people think to be strength training, you got to be, doing a bunch of weight in the gym. But like, there's a lot of ways you can strength train without, going to the gym and grinding it out like bodybuilders do every day or power lifters do. There's a lot of other options out there than just destroying your body in the gym every day for strength training, especially for an older generation. Like they don't really need to be lifting a ton of weight every day. They just need to be making it effective workouts, not necessarily like trying to grow a bunch of muscle.
Can I tell you that if I had a nickel for every woman I ever met in her 50s who said, I don't want to get bulky, that's why I don't lift, and
Yeah,
I just sort of came up with a standard answer for that, where I'm like, well, unless you're doing steroids behind my back, there's no way you're getting bulky. I was like, tell
yeah.
me where you're buying your steroids, because
I
you're
can't,
not going to get bulky.
I can't stand when women say that. I'm like, if you only knew how hard it was to get bulky,
That's right. Just yes,
like
thank you.
if it was that easy to get bulky, every man on this world would be jacked.
That's right.
Like
Thank
we'd
you.
all be get because we got way more testosterone than y'all, and we work out a lot, and it takes forever to get bulky. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like you said, you gotta be taking steroids. I've been working out 12 years, and I wouldn't say I'm very jacked like a lot of people you see. So I'm like, hey, y'all, I need y'all secret if y'all getting bulky.
that's right. That's right.
It's so much hard, especially for a woman. Like you could train 3 times as hard as I do, and still not put on as much muscle as me just because of hormones. Because I got a lot of testosterone. Like there's no way you're gonna get very bulky as a woman, unless you're taking steroids. That's probably the only way.
And this is exactly what you and I were just talking about with the different weeks of the cycle. There are actually weeks in your cycle that you're better suited for that type of lifting for that reason. Exactly what you're saying at your hormone levels. It's more advantageous to do heavier lifting at different periods of your cycle. So, exactly like you're saying.
Yeah, that's good information to know as well. I'm trying to learn so I can help her out as much as I can. Because she always has questions for me. I'm like, I really don't know the answer to that question. It's a lot different when it comes. Like you said, my cycle's 24 hours. So like, by the time I do it today, I'm good to go the next day. Well,
That's
that's not
right.
necessarily the case for her. So unfortunately for women, y'all got a lot more learning to do than we do. So I feel sorry for y'all sometimes. Y'all got to do a little extra.
Oh, don't feel bad for us. That's okay. We like it. Yeah.
So if somebody's hesitant to do strength training, what kind of advice would you give them to kind of ease into it?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think that's the big thing is most people are intimidated by even the phrase strength training because of all the different things that pops up in their head, all those, Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of movies from the 70s. I think if we make it a little more approachable and we call it balance training or we call it functional training, I think that's a better segue. A lot of the conversations I have with women who are just starting out and men as alike is I really make it about their functional lifestyle. So here's a good example. If somebody really wants to learn how to surf, right, there are ways we can do strength training that really is beneficial for the activity they want to do. And maybe it's lifting their grandkids, right? Like I've even come up with really engaging in ridiculous ways to do exercises just based on somebody. But if you can fit it into their lifestyle and make it make sense to them why they're doing it, like having somebody pick up a giant bag of dog food over and over. This was many years ago because it was just the most functional thing we had available, or a bag of mulch because that person shared with me that they have a new grandchild and they wanted to be able to pick up that grandchild over and over and over, and it was a great way cognitively for them to understand that this is a practical way to gain strength because you're working towards something.
Yeah, I like that. Fitting fitting straight training into like what you do throughout the day is a great thing to do. That's kind of funny you mentioned like the dog food because I you sent me back to COVID. All the gyms shut down. I needed a way to work out. So what did I do? I went in the backyard and I found literally anything I could pick up and started lifting. I was picking up 4x4s, anything
Yeah.
heavy, anything out in the gym. What are them things called? Things you hook up to the grill. Propane tanks.
Oh God.
I was doing
Okay.
propane tanks out there.
Empty
Like,
or full? Yeah. Okay.
it was just you had to get creative when you don't have a gym. We
It
had to
does.
get creative, so we had to find ways. So another thing was elastic bands. I think what are they called? Elastic bands. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are great, especially for beginners. Like I say, you don't need a lot of weight, so elastic bands are great for beginners to use, and you can do them at home. So that's a good thing to use. And body weight as well is a great place to start for beginners when they're first trying to get into strength training.
You literally, if you've never done strength training in your life and you're at home, there's no reason for you to buy weights. There are so many things you can do. You can do exercises from your coffee table. You can do your own staircase. There's so many opportunities. You don't need to make the investment until later.
Absolutely, that's why I like to preach a lot. People starting in their living room, like pull up a YouTube video in your living room and do that just to get you started, to get you kind of in the rhythm, and to get you comfortable with the exercises. So when you do go to the gym eventually, you'll feel a little more comfortable and at home. You won't necessarily have the anxiety of going to the gym. So, what are some quick wins for people that are looking to build healthy habits, outside of their workouts? So things they can do, just throughout their day.
That's a good question. I mean, the easiest thing you can do is pay attention to your water consumption, right? At the very end of the day, if you are hydrated and you are, feeling good and feeling full, you're not going to
Right, one
overeat
right
as
here.
often. Oh, there you go. You're not going to, you're eating, if you're drinking before meals, right? You're having that 6 ounces before you start a meal. You've already created enough waste into your stomach that it's very, very unlikely that you're going to overeat. One of the things I mentioned to somebody who is new to fitness, but also wants to lose weight, but has to eat out a lot because of their job, they're on the road, is I will not let them have alcohol until after their meal. I won't let them have bread until after their meal. And I think that's an easy, quick way to modify what you're doing without feeling like you're missing out on like ordering that porterhouse steak or whatever your favorite is. But you can't drink until after the meal is over because we know what happens when you drink, right? It stops that reaction that we're supposed to have to let us know that we're full, right? Our ghrelin in our stomach. So it basically makes us numb to the fact that we're even full and we keep eating. And the other thing is often the case, they bring alcohol first and they bring bread first, right? To get you eating, to spike your insulin so that you think you're more hungry during the meal. So by the time your high protein or pasta dish shows up, right, you've already consumed how many calories and not even blinked. So first thing first, you can make little modifications. You don't have to miss out on your favorite foods necessarily, especially if you're out and traveling and can't prepare your own meals. Because I know one of the biggest things I hear from people is, I don't have time to prep my meals. I don't have time to prep my meals. And I'm like, that's okay. Here's how we can pay attention to our consumption. The other thing is sleep. I know it's something we preach, and a lot of times, people are like, well, I have this and that. Sleeping is no different than exercise. You need to practice your sleep. You need to set an alarm to go to bed, put your phone away, do those certain things. We don't need that blue light in your eyes keeping you awake for a couple extra hours, but if you set an alarm and if that alarm says no more phone, right? No more after 8 o'clock, whatever it is for you, and you start practicing going to bed at a certain time, it just makes it easier. It really does. And it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have a call or an email pop up, but if you practice with the intention, it's going to get easier. And I think the one thing I always tell clients, it's priorities, not goals, right? If it's your priority in life to be a certain person.
Dang, I lost her. It's all good. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had to bring you back on the screen. There you go.
I miss like they kicked me out of the Wi-Fi, maybe who knows? Yeah. But no, it's what I was trying to say is that in life, it's picking priorities. So if your priority is to be healthy and have a healthy lifestyle, there's no amount of goals that will ever set that will match setting a priority about who you are and what your life should look like.
Yeah, the sleep one is hard for me. You have to be very intentional about getting good sleep. I'm getting better at it. The older I get, the more sleep I need. I get tired now. I used to just always be on the go, but now I'm dialing in my sleep now, so that's getting better. But I really liked your idea of not having alcohol or bread until after your meal. That would be so hard to do, especially if they bring out like the bread. It'd be hard not to eat that bread when they bring it out. But I like that though. Something along on that same line that I like to use for myself is eat my protein first, just because it's kind of more satiating for you. So it's kind of like you said, it'll make you more full, and then you won't want to eat as much other foods after that. So it's not necessarily saying you can't have bread at all. It's just saying you can have it, but you have to eat this other stuff first before you can have it. So I like that. It's kind of the same idea there. That's a good hack that people can use. Another thing I like to say throughout your day is after you eat a meal, just go for a short, quick walk after your meal. If you can. I know some people's job don't allow them to do this, but if you can go for, 10, 15 minutes after you eat, it helps you get in your steps, helps you digest your food a little bit, and it just keeps you up and moving, being active throughout the day. So you're not just sitting down all day. Because I work a desk job, so I sit down all day. So it's
Yep.
it's good for me to get up and move my body a little bit throughout the day. So that's something that I try to do myself. I like to tell other people to do too.
And you don't have to wear special clothes to walk. You could literally just go to
Hmm.
lunch, you know, eat, and then walk back, whatever it is. I like that you said like 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be excessive.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to do like an hour at a time. If you can, break it up. But in
Yeah.
the evenings, if you got a little extra time, you can do a little longer then. You good?
I'm good. I think a mosquito tried to get me. I'm sorry. I was like, don't get me.
You're
I
all
don't I
right.
don't know about these New York City mosquitoes. They're like twice the size as the DC ones. So I'm like, that's weird. But yeah.
I don't know about that. I'm in
Yeah.
I'm in Alabama. We just got normal mosquitoes here.
Oh, oh. Do you guys get lantern flies? Did you
We
get
call
those
them
yet?
we call them fireflies. Is it
No,
the
no,
same
this is
thing?
no different. Oh, well, just wait. They're coming south. Sorry. I didn't mean to like
Uh,
doom you with
I
it.
don't know what
They're
a lantern fly is. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
all
We have
right.
fireflies though.
Don't Google it later if you don't want to. Yeah, they've been moving south since about probably the last 4 or 5 years. They've been moving further and further south. I was like, I don't know if they made it as far south as you yet, but
No,
Virginia had a great crop this year.
I haven't seen those yet. So
Okay.
hopefully they stay up there.
Yeah.
So how can beginners stay motivated if they're not seeing results, like visible results, right away? I know a lot of us are impatient. We
Yeah.
like to see results right away. So how do you keep those beginners? How would you say they could stay motivated during this time?
So I think you have to be very intentional about your results, right? And I always say that another great reason to have a personal trainer, maybe, or somebody who knows what they're doing around you, is starting with a benchmark because every 6 to 8 weeks you need to be reevaluating because it's easy to forget that you started with 10 pounds on a machine and now you're up to 20 and just forget over that period of time that you made this massive jump, right? So I would say that if you are going to start and you want to stay motivated, you have to really take a nice take a nice preview of where you're really at, do a fitness assessment. That's probably the easiest way because when people see results or they can go back and frame something they've already done, there's no better way to motivate somebody, whether it's, their body fat or their, like you said, a strength gain. That's huge.
Yeah, I think we get too fixated on that number on the scale, but there's so many other like wins and progress you can make that's not on the scale. So I always like to preach progress pictures. I like to
Oh,
take
nice.
I like the
Okay.
pictures because it's easy to see, the difference. Like say you took a picture on day one, you took a picture on day 30. You may not look drastically different, like in the mirror. You probably can't tell, but if you compare yourself to that photo, it's a lot easier to see, that progress that you've made there. So that's why I like to use progress pictures because a lot of times the scale it can kind of lie a little bit to you. It's not always 100% accurate. Are you there? I lost her. Golly, we're struggling here. It's all good. I I was getting new for Wi-Fi one time, and I had a guy. I was doing a podcast with a guy, and I could tell. And my Wi-Fi kept going out, like it kept cutting out. And I guess something had happened. It happened. Something happened to the cable in my Wi-Fi, and I had to get it completely replaced. And it kept cutting in and out. and I was doing a podcast with a guy, and it happened. Same thing was happening to me. It kept kicking me out, and I knew the guy was getting so mad. Like I could tell he's getting frustrated, but he was trying not to like be mad, and I could just. So I know how you feel. Don't feel bad. I know how it is. Yeah, I felt so bad for the guy because I could tell he got irritated with me, and I was trying to do the podcast. So it is what it is. I'm not worried about it one bit. I know how technology goes sometimes. Well, it's 7 p.m. here for me. But yeah, I don't know. I've switched it up a couple times. Sunday just works for me. I get all my stuff done on Sunday, and I just do it right before I go to bed Sunday night, and then I'll upload it like the next day, Monday morning. I don't know. It just works for me. That's when I do it. I wanted the podcast to go live on a Monday because that's when people kind of start working out for the week and stuff. So I had to record it a day in advance to get it up on time. Yeah, yeah, it works for me, so that's why I do it. Unfortunately, people in different time zones, like you said, 8 p.m. is kind of late. Yeah, well, I work a full time job during the week, so it's hard to get one in, in the afternoons during the week. But I do. I'm pretty flexible. I will switch it up if I have to. Yeah, that's a good question. I just wanted to like I told you, I tried the personal training thing. It didn't work out for me. And I just wanted this is kind of my way of giving back. Like I want to be able to help other people, but I don't know. Like this was kind of my way of doing it. I love podcasts. I've always listened to them. I enjoy doing them, and I was always like, well, I'm always consuming podcasts. Like, why don't I just make one myself? And this was like the first thing I thought of. Wow, I want to help people get started on their fitness journey because fitness has had a big impact on my life. Like it's done a lot for me. Not just for my health, but it has a lot of effect on you mentally and stuff as well. So I was like, well, it's helped me. I need to try to help other people so it can help them as well, and just
Yeah.
share kind of my story and what I've done and what helps for me, what works for me. Try to share that for other people, and hopefully they can take something from it. So my goal with each episode is just to help one person. If I can help one person do one thing, then that's a successful episode for me. So that's why I do it. And I've been doing it for about 3 years now. It's been going on for a while. I enjoy it. And lately, I've been having a lot of guests on. For a long time, it was just me, on here chatting to myself.
Yeah.
But lately, I've had a lot of people join me. So that's it's been fun. It's been I've learned a lot recently. I've talked to all kinds of different people, personal trainers,
Yeah.
doctors, you know,
Keep
I've,
doing it. Honestly, the name of your podcast alone is enough for somebody to feel like it's approachable, right? Like
mhm.
I'm a beginner, to be able to see themselves as a beginner and know that there's a platform, somebody who's talking about this every week. That's a big deal. So I'm glad you're doing that. That's huge.
Yeah, I've had a few cool like testimonies or that people have listened to the podcast, and started working out and things. So that's awesome. I love hearing cool stories like that. I've had a few like that. And if you have one, please share it with me. I would love to
Yeah.
hear it. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets a little it's hard to be consistent with doing something like this over time.
It
But yeah, I
is.
like
Yeah.
it. I enjoy it. It's a passion for me. Like I don't work in fitness at all. I don't. I work in construction, so it's just something I love doing. I've been doing it for 12 years now, and I enjoy it. So if I can help other people, then that's a win for me. That's my goal. So I
Good.
like doing it.
Thank you. I'm glad you're doing this.
Absolutely, and I'm glad we still have people that can help train people. Oh, what I was gonna say is the name fitness beginner. That's why I told you earlier. I like to keep things kind of basic. I keep things on a simple
Yeah.
level because I don't want to. If you're kind of newer, a lot of times all that extra stuff it's overwhelmed. It's too much.
Yeah.
So I try to keep things basic. Sometimes we'll dive deeper into topics and kind of break certain topics down.
Yeah.
Or if I have like a certain person on that specializes in a certain area, we'll kind of ask them some
Yeah.
more specific questions. But yeah, I like to keep things basic and to help motivate people to work out and be healthy, live a better lifestyle, things like that. So that's the whole goal.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. if you would go ahead and tell listeners where they can find you if they want to,
Sure.
follow you, get in contact with you, whatever.
Sure. My website is Lift, Lift Pro Wellness. Um, I have a podcast myself. I don't know if you got to dabble in it yet. I know you said you like podcasts, and it's called Don't Fucking Shrink. I know. Go ahead and beep that out later. And it's really a story about all the wonderful people. If you've ever been a personal trainer, and I've been in a very great place to be a personal trainer. I've met so many people with compelling stories, and they're not all fitness related. A lot of them have to do with things they've done in their life and things they've overcome. And fitness was just a small piece of that, but having the opportunity to, overcome a background that maybe was really small, but they became a big personality, or maybe it's autism, having an autistic child and what that was like to overcome as a person, and how they really made choices and didn't get stuck in isolation or abuse. Like, don't effing shrink. I'll frame it for you that way. Is really people telling their stories about how they came to a moment or a hurdle or an apex in their life, whether it was health or wellness or anything else, and really are telling their story to inspire others. And I like to think that in a chaotic world that we do live in, that if you hear somebody's story and you even agree or feel empathetic towards them, or a piece of their story matches yours, it's really hard to hate them, right? Maybe
Yeah.
you don't agree with them on politics or religion or anything else, but if you hear a piece of their story and it resonates with you, it really humanizes them. So my podcast is really about pushing people past hurdles and being inspired by what they did and how they got there.
That's awesome. So yeah, thank you again for joining the podcast. I enjoyed our time together. Hopefully you stay clear of all the mosquitoes over there.
I don't know anymore. I'm nervous. Yes. But thank
Yeah.
you so much. I hope you have a great evening.
You too. Have a good one.